Hey, loves. You are listening to Show Me Love. Of course, if you're hearing this voice, it's very familiar to you. For all of you who are listening to Show Me Love for the first time, welcome, babes. I hope that all of my supporters, listeners, and new listeners have a very Merry Christmas. If you are listening to this episode when it airs, which is season 5, episode 2, then it's Christmas time. Literally, it is on Christmas Day that this episode will be released in the morning. So listen to it, of course, on Christmas. And I would definitely be appreciative if you threw this on, during your festivities as you go about Christmas Day and enjoying the ones that you love. Or maybe sometimes enjoying people that you love but you can't stand. That happens sometimes. You cannot pick your family, people. You cannot. But no matter what, keep it what? Classy, okay? I if you go back a couple of episodes into season 4, around Thanksgiving, I did a Thanksgiving episode that gave you tips about how to get through the holidays with people who drive you crazy. You love them, you would die for them, right? As the people used to say, wait in blood for mine, all right? Because that's what we're gonna do. But there are times when the struggle is real. Okay, so it's totally understandable. Um, so if you had not done so already, make sure that if you listen to this audio podcast on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit that alert button so that every time I put out an episode, you're fully aware of that. If you're on Spotify, make sure to follow Show Me Love podcast, please. Follow and rate it. Rate it on every platform that you listen to show, whatever platform you use to listen to Show Me Love, rate it. My website will be up soon. Just between work and getting ready for the holidays, I have put on a back burner. I have some ideas in my head too. So trying to sort those and make sure like, okay, what am I going to be working on in the near future? What's the short-term goal? What's the long-term goal as far as the things I want to do before I wrap up and publish and make my website live for Show Me Love again. It's going to be a new look, refreshed. But on there, I bring up my website because when it's back up live, and I'll put that on my socials, or at social media, I'll put that up when I do complete the website, and you guys will hear about it because I will be yelling about it forever because it took me a long time to button all that up. So no worries there. But definitely I am this episode that I'm doing today. I'm doing 2 episodes. One is this episode, season 5, episode 2, but then I'm going to also ensure that I put out the bonus content for What Your Mother Didn't Tell You series. So that is bonus content only. You have to be a supporter to listen to that. So for all of those out there who have listened to my bonus episodes, there's not a ton, but there's a couple. Okay, there'll now be a total of 3. I will be doing bonus content bi-weekly. So keep it out, keep an eye out for that. I have use Buzzsprout currently for my bonus content, but I know some people use Patreon and things of that nature. So if you find that the platform of using Buzzsprout does not work for you, then just let me know. And then if it's something I could change to, then I will. If not, I'm going to just keep using Buzzsprout if I don't hear otherwise. So let's get into the topic for today. So again, I hope Santa's fat ass brought you everything that you wanted. We all know the reason for the season, though, for real, is not just about the gifts. So this episode is about you cannot plan your happiness. And so Christmas y- used to be my favorite holiday. Um, when my children were smaller, or kids, I should say, and smaller too. And, just having a household that's like bustling, there is things that I miss and there's things I don't miss about the whole, you know, having little kids and like running around for the specific toys they want and trying to figure out all the Xbox and PlayStation stuff. Like, still haven't figured that out to this day. The kids had to lead and guide me through said process because I didn't know anything about that. And now people are talking about like Roblox or so. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't even know. I don't know anything about gaming. It looks completely fun. People make a living out of it. I think it's great. I don't understand it all of the way. So anybody who wants to teach me, I am ready to learn because I do want to understand the why a PlayStation 5 console is $500. I've seen them on sale though, actually. But why is it $500? How much does it cost? How do you play? It looks very interesting. I have no idea when I will find the time to play the game though. But I'm dedicated. Once I want to learn something, oh, I'm in there. Like research, doing the things. I gotta touch and feel and get a hang for everything. So anyone who wants to teach me, I'm down because it looks like a good time. It looks expensive of a hobby, but it still looks fun. But in during this holiday season, from right before Thanksgiving all the way into New Year's, it is definitely difficult for a lot of people around the world. And that is because Christmas has become commercialized, right? And that has been our life story that has been commercialized. Of course, I can't speak for what it was before I was live, but I will say this: you cannot schedule your happiness to be, oh, it's Christmas time. It should be the happiest time of the year besides your birthday or your loved one's birthday. But we treat it like you should be full of cheer. Isn't that what all of the lights say? Or the tree toppers or the wreath that you could buy and put on your door or wall or something. It says cheers or cheer and Mary and all of that. Not Mary had a little lamb, but Mary, like be merry. Merry, y'all. But the whole point of me making this um episode today was we have to be, as a society, sensitive to those who this is not a good time for. I've had my fair share of different years where I didn't want to see anybody because I didn't. So for me personally, for Cece, I did not feel like a Grinch. I didn't feel like people shouldn't have Christmas. I didn't feel like I should work instead of being off with my family for Christmas. I didn't feel like I didn't want to buy people things, but I felt like I want to buy people the things. I hope they love them. I just want to give it to them. But then I do want to go home and I do want to go to bed for sure. Right. And I wasn't into like hanging out with anyone or anything. That was like an off day for me because typically you run around, you're buying all the ingredients for a big dinner, and then you're buying all the gifts, you're buying all the wrapping paper, you're trying to decorate, you're trying to put the stuff up for decoration. So it's typically usually a lot going on. And with that being said, it is tough sometimes to really understand the reason for the season. So the reason for the season is it's all about Jesus and the birth of Jesus. So all those who are celebrating thinking it's about Santa coming down, the chimney and that's it. Like Santa does it, the elves help him and the reindeer flying in the sky. Yeah, okay, that's a nice story and that's great, right? And that was fun when you were 4. to believe that, then what my mom used to do is put like some would be from Santa and some would be from her, because she was a black woman, a hardworking black woman. So I'll be damned if you about to give all the credit to Santa with his big ass belly. Like, hold up. And bellies are cute. So hey, Santa. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, it's definitely one of those things where in a black household that I've seen when I've been around family and friends and stuff, you do, and I did it. You know what I mean? As a mom, some of this stuff came from Santa, but that big shit, that shit that you really want, that was me. That was me and your father. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm sorry, but I would put, for mom and dad, or like or some years I would put, okay, this is for mom, this is from dad. And then, because if we didn't know who bought what, because it didn't matter, we was in the same household. And then like maybe a thing or two from Santa. So they know that Santa gave a damn that this man with a beard pulled up for them. Because you don't want to like not include them at all and discredit and ruin the dream. And I cannot remember when my kids stopped believing in Santa, but I know my oldest son told my youngest son about it and basically let him know, Ma is down there rapping. Dad just bought this stuff. Like, I don't even know why it say Santa, but bruh, it was mom and dad. Don't even worry about it. You gotta be good for them, and then they gonna hook you up. And sometimes he still wouldn't listen. But you know what? That's kids for you. I was the same way. I was exactly the same way. Hard headed as hell. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Excuse me. And so my whole thing was this. Although we want it to be something that is amazing and beautiful and you're in a cheery mood and all of that, is that really life? So 2025 there was some funky shit going on in our country politically, and it was tough though. It was fast too. It was faster than it was anything. January feels like it was 6 months ago, and it's now December. And so, although you felt so certain different ways about different things, we've all been dating all year, working on our goals all year, working all year. Hopefully, I'm praying that you kept a steady income, my loves. And with all of that said, some of us are tired, some of us are stressed, some of us are still hurting from different things in our past that we need to put to bed. Okay, first of all, forever kill it if it's messing with your mood. But you can't just, easier said than done. You can't just say, oh, well, this is something that bothers me all the time. But you know what? I'm not even going to worry about it because Cece said to kill it. And if it messes up your mood, easier said than done, but it can be done. And that's what I'm here to give you all advice on this episode of Show Me Love. And so, my advice to you for all of those who are hurting in this season where you're not feeling 100%, where if you're like Cece, you put your tree up on Christmas Eve, because I definitely did. I definitely did, because I wasn't really in the mood this year. Still made sure everybody was good. Um, I felt I was definitely in a giving spirit, because it is supposed to be just like the song, just like the Christmas Carol goes. Santa Claus is coming to town. Are you on the naughty or nice list? I did an episode, I think an episode or two ago, about being naughty or nice. Please check that out, because this would be a great day to also listen to it as well. And so, yes, you buy gifts based off of how your relationship has been with that person or people in your life, or in your everyday routine, and how they've been to you is technically how the gift giving works. You shouldn't be giving gifts just to give them. Like, here, huh? or somebody told me I should have got this. So here, like whatever. Except for when it's Secret Santa. But the thing with Secret Santa, you're going to get something and you're going to give something. So be nice about it. You know what I'm saying? Most of you, I'm assuming, because now we're going to be past Christmas, you have already um exchange gifts, I would assume, unless you work on a swing shift and there's multiple shifts, y'all may still have to figure that out. Because sometimes people are doing Secret Santa or gift giving at jobs and stuff like that well into the new year sometime based off of people's schedule. Because this is usually the time of year where there's a reset. But it's still hard on those who were not in the Christmas spirit, because this time between Christmas and New Year's can get a little dark and a little lonely for some people who were already there. And I want you to use this time, my loves, as a time of enrichment and enlightenment into your life. So I want you to not feel like shit. Please don't do that. Definitely take the time that which will typically feel lonely, and use that time to say and build new routines and new traditions. So the first couple of Christmases that I was alone, I did build my own ritual. I had my own little tree. I had a tabletop tree, by the way. And it was a cute tabletop tree. It wasn't no ugly thing. It was super full. It had, cute little bulbs. It had all the things just in tiny size. But it was adorable. And I loved it because it was mine. And I loved it because it was my space. And I loved it because it was on my time. And when you're alone, that clarity is a motherfucker, right? Like, it's necessary. And it's when you're going through it, you're like, ouch, this hurts. Like, I don't like this. Like, this feels pitiful and it feels not fun. And it's not as lit as if it was 15 more people in this room with me at this moment. But I have said this before on Show Me Love. There are some processes and some journeys and some adventures and some life experiences that you got to go at alone. There's a lot of things that you got to do by yourself. You have to understand that. It's a part of the process. And so that alone shouldn't equivalent to you being equivalent to you being less than, because you're not less than. But you are if you're not taking the time that you are by yourself to build, to work on your foundation if there's a crack in it, to work on building yourself from the ground up if that's what's lacking. If that's what's lacking. If that's not lacking, then is it your negativity? Are you a negative person? Because that's something you may need to work on, because you shouldn't be walking around every day like, woe is me. Meaning, layman's terms, you shouldn't be walking around like, I'm by myself. I had to do this by myself. I had to do that by myself. Take that time to enjoy the time that you have with yourself. And I know that sounds crazy, but how many of us who have been alone before, whether it's currently or in the past, and you definitely felt it? You felt the silence. You felt the lack of laughter and joy in your household because you were by yourself. But how many times when you really deep dove in yourself, you got out of that toxic relationship, or you stopped talking to that toxic person, or you stopped allowing people in your house or space, or going to spaces where the energy was off, and you realize how enjoyable it is. On a lot of my best days, I am alone, and unfortunately, there does sometimes become a shift when you're really healing, when you enjoy it way too much, where you don't even want someone to enter your space. I don't care who it is. It could be a kid, it could be an adult, it could be a friend, it could be a coworker, anything. You don't even want them in your space, personal space, whether you're at work or whether you're at home, because their energy is thrown off what you're trying to provide for yourself. That happens too. And so during this time of reset, because typically if you're blessed enough, either have taken off or your career has given you time off, or if you're a business owner, you've allotted time off in a way to step to the side and use this time between Christmas and New Year's to, and I know that's what people typically do, but I'm telling you to have a successful year of the dragon, baby, because excuse me, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Year of the horse, excuse me. 2026 is the year of the horse. 2025 was the year of the snake. How how accurate is that, right? And as a quick explanation, 2025, the year of 2025, which is what we're in, was the year of the snake. So that's shedding and getting rid of the things. If you have not done that from January to December of 2025 of this year, that is totally fine because you still have a week. You literally have a week because if you are listening to this episode when it comes out on December 25th, then in exactly a week, 7 days from now, if you're listening to this on 12/25/25, then it will be 1/1/26. And it will be time to kick all that shit that you put on your vision board, on your post-it note, on your calendar, in your voice notes, your voice memos on your iPhone, your notes in your iPhone, or written in your journal like I've been telling you all to do all year. Then it's going to be time to kick it into high gear on 1/1/26. But you can't, if you don't plan, then you plan to fail. And I know that sounds dumb, but even when it's come to my own personal life, my career, or show me love, whenever things are not written down and planned and step by step by step, then I've always failed each and every time. Um, and when I say fail, people think that means fall on your face fail. That means that you're dead on arrival. That means all of that. Too dramatic, y'all. Too dramatic. Dial it back. When I say that you will fail, failing means you're going to have to still say, wait, what did I have that idea in my head? Dang, I wish I would have wrote it down. That's what I'm talking about. And then one day in 17 weeks from now, you're driving home and you're like, that's what I wanted to do. How helpful is that though? When by then you'll be deep into February, if not going into March. And you're just now starting something that you wanted to start in 2026. That's why I say write it down. And not only when you don't write and forget it, because that's not helpful either. Even if you have to put journaling as a reminder in your phone, that's why these phones, babies, are $1,200 or more because they have a lot of features that can help you not forget stuff because there's a reminder and then there's a calendar and then usually depending on if you use Google or Outlook or whatever you use, you definitely should be using that to set reminders for steps that you need to take in your life. So if I were you, I'm not you, but I like to give advice that I feel is helpful and tell me if it's helpful or not. And try it for a month and see how you feel. So 30 from now to another 30 days. So December 25th to January 25th, or whenever you listen to this episode, do it 30 days from when you start. Okay, that's your business. As my girl Tabitha Brown would say, it's her business. And so, because I want to take her, I don't try to take nobody's words. I will say that write in your journal at least once a week, talking about your goals, whether it's romantic goals, you want to find your boo thing, or you want to make the thing that you got with your boo thing stronger, or whatever it is you got going on, losing weight, read it more, whatever the case may be, throw it in your journal. Then in your journal, talk about how you feel about said journey that you've already started, want to start, already finished. Put that in your journal. Say, you know what? I said I was going to finish X. I already did it. Bam, done, boom, over it. Okay. But I want you to also set a second reminder in your phone during the week. Pick the day. That day is on you. There's no science to this. This is your life. So I'm only trying to supplement and give great advice. Then that second time in the week, double back to your journal. That writing it and setting it and forgetting it is not helpful. So go back into your journal and say, okay, what did I write last week? What did I write 2-3 weeks before that? Let me see where I was at. Where was I at mentally? You may shock yourself, and you may be darker than you thought you were, or have more light in your tunnel than you thought you were missing. Or you may not like your tone, or you may love your tone. You may be like, damn, I was excited the last 3 weeks. I just wrote something last week. I sounded like I was like, it's down and out. This is a time to check yourself, because can't nobody check you like you do unless you're not being real with yourself. And that's another episode for another time. But my loves, I want you all to enjoy this holiday season. I am going to start a challenge soon, and I'll be releasing that shortly. The new challenge that I'm going to have, so this is my Show Me Love challenge that I'm going to be starting. You all could join me if you would like. The challenge is working out 5 times a week for at least 30 minutes, a day, 5 times a week. You could do more, right? And if you have any type of injuries or something like that, then you will obviously have to do it less, and then talk to your doctor about that. For all of us who just be eating and sitting around too much, we could do 5 times a week for 30 minutes a day. No baked goods, because I have a baked good issue. So if I were to start a support group, which is what this kind of is, it's to leave them damn cookies and donuts and stuff alone. It sounds so good as I'm talking about it, to be honest with you, but it's a true problem for me. So it's got to go. A half a gallon of water a day. Some people say a gallon, but this is a starter. That means that the goals that you set, you have the ability to adjust them when you want to adjust them. You do what you feel is best for you. If you already at a half a gallon, if you like, Cece, I'm already drinking half a gallon of water. What is you doing? Then go to a gallon, smarty pants. Okay. Um, for me, no fried food. I could go without the fried food. Like it's convenience, because my schedule sucks sometimes, but I need to figure out something else. So that's a me problem. And fasting from 7 to 7. I feel like that's very doable. So from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. fasting. And that's what we should be doing anyways. But for me, I set this as a goal so that I'm fully aware to cut off eating at a certain time, for one. And for two, um, I'll just start eating earlier and then just spread it out during the day and see how that works for me. And that is because my goal is to lose weight. I got on the scale and I was like, oh, damn, like I've been tearing it up. So it's time to get ready and get fit in 2026. So I'm excited. I haven't thought of a cute name, and I will do that once I post it. So hopefully by next week I'll have a cute name. That is the plan. But new challenge, if you would like to join me, once I post the rules and kind of what I'm going to create as the challenge, then I'm also going to see what other fitness people I could have join in on it, as far as them giving advice, and then you all just paying them for their advice, because it will not be free of the charge, but just, having them be a guide, because this is going to be difficult. It's not meant to be easy. A goal should not be, easy. It should be you getting out of your comfort zone and trying to do what's best for you. But in this holiday season, I hope that you all are in the greatest spirits possible. If you're not, create new traditions. Create new things that can make you feel happy. It doesn't have to be traditional. It doesn't have to fit the mold of anyone besides what you want to fit it into. This is your world. The rest of us is just in it. Okay. So Merry Christmas to all of you who celebrate Christmas. If you do not, just enjoy the time off of work and enjoy whatever holiday that you celebrate. I know Kwanzaa is coming up. Hanukkah, I'm not 100% sure when it starts and when it ends, but I hope that you all are enjoying that as well. And for any other holiday that you all enjoy during this winter time, share it. Let me know, oh, I celebrate this or I celebrate that. Let me know. Talk to me, and I want to, hear about how it went, and kind of, is it just one day you celebrate? Is it multiple days that you celebrate, and different things of that nature? But whatever you do, enjoy it, drink and be merry. Even if you're not, get yourself into a positive space so you start 2026 off, because if you're listening when this episode airs, you have 7 days to figure it out. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Show Me Love.